Welcome to another episode of Coconut Song and Potato Mash.
The fat giraffe picture, I was just like, oh, why am I watching?
Welcome to another episode of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons Tomb of Annihilation. Oh, God. Featuring coconut songs and potato songs. Thanks for the host. We were all watching silly videos while I was trying to get the stream set up. But yeah, so people might be a little bit giggly right now. Anyway, welcome everybody. We currently will be shy one Kellisto of the Bear God clan. It's a half-elf druid. And one Rorax Aelia, who finished recently moving into her place. So, we'll be continuing the remaining peoples in the party, starting off with the one who leads us all, and that is going to be Kashcah.
Oh, hi. I'm the DM. It says so right here.
It does. It does. It says Dungeon Master right there. I'll have to move that next time. No. And then up next to Rorax and Kellisto is Nerevar.
That will be me. Yeah, I will be playing as Tobias Salazar, who is a Spacial sorcerer, and he's accompanied by his idol Arokh Ironscale.
Indeed. And then over next to Kellisto and next to me is going to be Lyssa.
I am playing Valia Bonesmasher. I am a Lizardfolk Barbarian, and apparently I eat spicy red wizard.
All the better for you to multi-class into Paladin.
Yes. Slowly the transition is happening.
First the little red wizard, then Paladin. Okay, and then myself, I'm Vallen. I will be playing Ulfgar Holderheck, a dwarven bard sorcerer and member of the Emerald Enclave. We have with us some NPCs or non-player characters by the name of Flippy, who is Valia's pet, axe beak, which is sort of like a really big bird with an axe for a beak. Very self-explanatory. And Rorax's character Aelia tends to have Gao, who is right next to him there, right next to her, who is the king of the kobolds, as we have crowned him. And then we also may have a guide. I can't remember his name without looking up in the journal.
We always forget his name.
Poor guy.
Orvax. Orvax, the translator who was left for dead. And we're hoping that he lives long enough that we can deliver him to some kind of safety, or at least a place that he would prefer to be that isn't with us. Because we're gonna get him killed.
Or maybe he's gonna murder you all in your sleep.
He's had the opportunity. He will have it again.
He's just lulling you into a false sense of security. Then he's gonna make his move.
He's actually the necromancer. Nobody has done.
You had no idea.
Or detecting undead while he's been in the party either, for that matter. So last time, let's actually bring this over here. We're in the city of Omu. And we're just kind of trouncing around, taking in the sights, clicking a few tourist photos, and picking up puzzle boxes as we go. In this place here, we found to have these weird little bear-like creatures called Zorbos that we lovingly called Nerebears due to the nature of Nere being a hair removal product and them having very
naked
little
bums.
hair on them. And there is also statues of El Mirage, which are like unicorn bunny rabbits, but we didn't see any of them. We convinced the Nerebears to leave us alone as we entered into the temple, traversed through the sun and moon pools of transposition, teleportation, whatever you want to call it, and
Bampiness.
Yes, and found the torch room with the puzzle box in it and a stone statue of a red wizard. We proceeded to unstone the red wizard, and he proceeded to fireball us in return. thinking that we were out for him and stealing his precious puzzle box.
Well,
When in fact, we just wanted to have a conversation.
right.
He may have been slightly provoked here and there, or at least thought that he might have been in danger, though he reacted very quickly and with much flair. Taking the party down to half health with one magic spell was quite enough for the party to kind of like not be happy with him. They fought back. He ran away. Party pretty much said good riddance, and then he ambushed us shortly after. Of which time Valia ate him to death, saying no, that's enough of that. And we solved the puzzle and got the next puzzle box of Ubalaka. Ubalaka's puzzle cube, and Kellisto currently has that. Next, we decided we would head up to the Circle of Doom, or as Orvex called it, the Circle of Ultimate Demise and Infinite Death.
He said no such thing.
Well, he should have. It would have been a lot more interesting, but but we're thinking
maybe it's a giant teleportation circle. You go in there and you end up like who knows where.
Teleported into a giant. That would be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But we were planning
slowly
on
digesting you.
over 1,000 years. we're gonna head up into this circle section of the city and investigate, believing that there may be a temple in this area that we might be able to obtain a puzzle box from. At least that's last I knew. But before then, we figured we'd take refuge in the temple of the Nerevar and rest up, because we had gotten our butt kind of handed to us and we were all mentally drained. So
what's that? Almost more difficult than the rest of the jungle?
It's got the King of Feathers too, so you know, it's got all the sights, it's got everything. So we were taking a rest, and then we were gonna move on from there with the bubble in place, holding us safe.
Yeah,
hopefully. We had not actually rested yet, so I think that's where we're at this point. Hey.
Yeah, so you guys, Ulfgar ritual casts his tiny hut, and you're able to, take some rest, take a long rest in there if you want. I don't know if anybody wants to keep watch, or if you're just kind of going with it, or what do you want to do? What do you do?
You know, Ulfgar would probably be feeling a bit uneasy after the last guy. He'd probably volunteer to take a watch if there are others that wanted to do so. He would take the last walk, like he usually does.
I guess I could take the first.
Okay.
Okay, the second watch is for Tobias.
Okay.
Okay.
And Kellisto's gonna sleep.
Just gonna sleep. Well, good news. The the night passes, or your rest. I'm trying to think if it's night. Passes without incident. So if you got the doors closed, the Zorbos seem to steer clear of you. And nothing else is in the shrine with you. So there's nothing there to interrupt you, basically.
Right.
So everybody gets a long rest in.
Yay.
And I think with the doors closed, it's quite dark, and you're not sure what time of day it is. But after 8 hours, I think Ulfgar's spell will expire. And
yep, pretty much. And I got all my spells back, which actually I had spent a very good portion of them on that last puzzle quest of Torch McTorcherson, McTorchface. That was a lot of torch movement. Anyway.
Yep. The torches came and the torches went. Rinse and repeat.
So, Ulfgar says, shall we head out and head north then? Any objections or course changes you want to make? I forgot Aelia took a sleep as well. She didn't take a rest or watch. Gao too.
I guess we should head out and see what the Circle of Doom holds.
Okay. Do we actually have 5 NPCs and 3 players in this group right now?
Wait, how do you have 5? Hang on. Gao, Flippy, Orvex.
Kellisto and Aelia.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not really NPCs though, right? They're... Okay. Absent players. Alright. So, yep, the doors make that horrible screech noise as you kind of push them back open again. And sure enough, the morning sun almost blinds you as it blares through the open doors. No rain this morning. It's jungle is just kind of coming to life around the city. And yeah, it's a bright and beautiful morning in Omu.
Alright. So it looks as though there's not a lot of cover once we get beyond those the big open gate, and it also looks like from the map we have here that there's no breaks in the this wall like there are a lot of the temple walls. And these walls look much taller as well.
So the walls are, you would guess they're about 15 feet tall, actually. And they do seem to have, stood the test of time a bit better than some of the other walls that you've seen. They're definitely thicker. Heavy-duty walls.
But the front gates, are they even there?
There are no gates there. In fact, you can kind of look through that opening if you want.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, you actually see thousands of bats swirling up above this area, mostly above the center of it. And you can kind of see down this street, and you see another wall. Another circular looking wall at the kind of what you would guess is the center, and that's where most of the bats are. They're swirling up above there. Along the street to that wall you see crumbling buildings, vine choked statues, empty kind of plazas, and generally everything is kind of overgrown with roots. There is a lot of rubble around.
Is there much cover?
No, there is a lot, yeah, because there's lots of kind of overgrowth, actually.
Okay.
Specifically, close to the entrance here, you see some kind of larger palm trees, big palm trees.
We see one here.
Yeah. I mean, don't take this map literally, right? But yes, there are several palm trees close to the entrance there.
Okay. All right. So Ulfgar again would say, let's try to keep a low profile again. Don't want to attract any gargoyles or feathery T-Rexes. And he proceeds to sneak.
Okay. Give me a stealth check then.
Hui. Oh. I don't. Wow. There you go. He proceeds to walk smack into the wall and then starts banging some cymbals together. Still, for a natural 1, that's a 10.
Probably it will be much better that Arokh will go and scout the area.
Is Arokh gonna fly, or?
He's going to up to the wall, and he proceeds to climb it or fly up to it.
Okay.
Stealthy as possible.
Okay. Stealth check for Arokh then. Slightly better.
Yep.
But
It's not a one.
I was going to say anything's better than one, right? It's only one place to go.
You're trying to be stealthy.
So he sees, Arokh sees, loads of crumbled buildings, lots of kind of overgrowth, plant life, trees. Trees are kind of sporadic, and but there's lots of like ferns and big kind of jungle plants in between the buildings. Lots of rubble. And yeah, in the center here, there's another kind of walled area. Yeah.
Any possible threats?
He doesn't see anything.
There's a dwarf that's being unbelievably loud down below.
The biggest threat is right behind you. Yeah, he doesn't see any like humanoids moving or large animals or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's going to wait for the party.
Okay.
Next on the gate, like high above.
Okay. Got it. So he's like up on the wall, kind of up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, could he make a perception check for me, please?
Perception.
He does notice that there's a couple of palm trees and bushes clumped strangely, like just here.
He's going to keep an eye on that.
Okay. But Arokh sees the usual kind of jungle wildlife, right? There's colorful birds flitting around between the trees, some small mammals, and kind of getting their foraging for their food. Some little amphibians like geckos and snakes and stuff. Snake.
I guess I'll just start slowly going towards the open.
Okay. Yeah, you see the same thing that Ulfgar saw.
Just trying to scout ahead, trying to be stealthy, obviously not succeeding, but still.
Okay. Are you Ulfgar and Valia, are you heading like down the straight down this kind of center?
I was pretty much heading this way, looking as I go, see if there's anything of interest.
Okay.
I'll just kind of hang back behind. I'll let him go first.
Mm-hmm. I want to stay within about, I think it's 60 feet. I can cast my message spell, so I'd like to try and stay about that close to people, at least from somebody.
Okay. Yeah, Kellisto and Aelia are going to kind of follow behind the two of you. And Rorax is going to kind of group in the middle of them.
120 feet. Ooh.
Ooh. Push the boat out.
Yeah. You go touch that boat.
So Rorax is kind of huddling in between Aelia and Kellisto. He's just trying to pick the safest spot in the group, basically.
I'm trying to determine which way might lead to the nearest temple, or if there's any sign of any temples in this area. If not, then more or less, I guess I just start going counterclockwise.
Okay. And how about Tobias? What's Tobias doing?
He'll be following the rest of the party.
Okay. And does Arokh do anything about the weird clump of trees and bushes?
He's still keeping eye on them in case something go and jump over them. Correct.
Okay. So as you all proceed, kind of down the middle, Aelia will. She sees kind of Ulfgar, acting like he's being stealthy, and then not being stealthy at all. So she's kind of rolls her eyes and says, "You may as well give it up, Ulfgar. No, you're not hiding from anybody," kind of thing.
He turns around and says, "I'm used to the dark. Leave me alone. Had a rough night."
And she's not being stealthy, particularly after watching you, Ulfgar, kind of fail. She's like, whatever. So everybody's kind of proceeding down this main street here. And you don't get too far inside the walls when actually something happens.
There, bear.
So you are let's see. Actually, I'd like everybody to make a perception check, please. See if they get the drop on you. They should roll.
Hey, that's better than 11, than a 1.
Okay. They are so from kind of out from behind this building here, this one right here. It's like they're trying to be stealthy but failing. You didn't even notice them at first, but these snakes, what you notice, what makes you kind of turn around and look behind you, is you hear these snakes kind of transforming, and you see mid-transformation these snakes kind of changing shape into this.
When you say these snakes, how big were the snakes?
And the snakes were normal snake size.
So it got like really big?
Yeah, the snake, you've seen Kellisto wild shape, right? And this is very much like this. The snakes transform in the matter of seconds from being a normal kind of looking snake, medium sized snake, back into this form. And there's 3 of them. And you kind of have the opportunity to take a reaction before anything else happens. So this is what you see.
I guess Ulfgar would draw his rapier, knowing Yuanti, shout to the rest of the party, pointing at them, and I guess that's about it.
What do you shout? You're just like, ah!
More or less, yeah. I mean, he's like, look out! There you go.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, everybody sees them, actually, so it's kind of, yeah.
Do they see Arokh?
They seem to be... Let's see, did Arokh make a stealth check? He did. They don't seem to have seen Arokh. They seem to be focused on the people on the ground.
Okay.
So they effectively cut off our retreat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Arokh would see that they slithered not from exactly the weird pile of bushes, but from close to there, is when he would have noticed them.
I just pull out my weapon and attack the first one.
Okay. Let's see. Actually, I do have your tokens on here, so if we want to roll some initiative, you can certainly kind of react to them. But let me just move your tokens back to the right layout. I need to zoom out a little bit. There we go. I can grab them.
Oh boy.
Excitable birds.
They're all like, look out, there's Yuan-Ti.
Snakes! Snakes! There's snakes!
Snakes. Cobra Commander is coming for you.
I need to change what this is.
And they're off.
Okay, so I need to switch Aelia's health back as well. Sorry, 1 second. Remove everybody's health back to normal. Okay, so we can do some turn order now.
Yay.
Yay! Oh, and I do need
Are we staying on this map?
you want? Yeah, I don't have a specific map for this. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's fine.
Ma apologize.
I'm gonna zoom in a bit then.
Let me actually.
Can I this? Can we?
Yay!
I don't know where my character is. Oh, there we are.
Yeah,
There.
sorry, I've moved you down there. You can move yourself up if you want, but we don't. There's no real way to use the tokens, so we're just gonna have to use our imagination.
Ooh, that's the whole point of the game, isn't it?
What's that?
Ooh.
All right, let's see this, and then I'm doing one of these.
Oh boy, I have to get.
I'm rolling one of those. Hui. There we go.
Oh.
Look out!
And Aelia.
Snake Man.
Okay, hang on. Let me get these two. Orvex is just gonna kind of
Do the
take cover as soon as he sees what's going on. He just goes and hides in the nearest bush. And then where's Aelia? There she is. Okay, we got everybody.
Yep. Well, I think so. I think we're missing a couple burbs.
Right. Oop. Okay. So I'm gonna give everybody kind of one action because you see them transform. They kind of are not very. They failed the stealth check basically, and you see them transform as soon as. So you get an action while they're transforming, basically. So, Valia, you said you were gonna attack.
Yeah.
Okay. You wanna?
It's just the regular action, right?
Yep.
I hear snakes taste like chicken.
Just like chicken.
Oh, that's right. You got the hammer.
Hammer.
I take it a 24 hit.
Yep. Oof. Okay.
Take 6 points. Nasty snake.
Oh, and what's the strength?
That's if she does the berserk.
That's if I,
Okay.
yeah, if I do the AOE type of it.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna move this guy over. This is the one you're attacking. Okay. All right. So you see Valia rush forward and swing. Did you just get one swing with that, or did you get more than one swing?
Well, I get 2 attacks, so
I think you get 5 attacks against snake people, right?
Yep, that hits as well.
Dang, you got some serious hits going in on here.
Okay.
Damage.
All right. He is not happy about that. Okay. So then, Ulfgar and Tobias, anything you guys would like to do while these creatures are transforming in front of you?
So they're transforming back into snakes?
No, this is your action while they're transforming from snakes into the picture I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
The Yuan-Ti form.
I would like to play. I don't think I'd be too
Thanks,
crazy.
quiet.
I don't think I'd be too crazy about shouting just yet. So I think I'd go for the stab. So I guess I do the double stab with the rapier on the closest one, if I'm that close, Am I that close?
Yeah, I mean, you can rush forward to do that.
I will rush forward to do that.
Okay.
And actually, I said rapier. I would have pulled Bob.
Oh yeah, Bob.
Yeah, I would have
Alright.
pulled Bob. I forgot I had Bob. Bob's my uncle. Trying to think, would he have had his shield out? I don't think he'd have had his shield out, so his armor class is going to be lower, and he's going to two-handed swing Bob.
Okay, do it.
14.
Okay, that hits.
Really? Okay, yay, Bob.
It sure does. These guys. And I'm just going to move this guy closer to you as the one that you were attacking. I'm assuming you're attacking a different one than Valia, or?
Whatever one was closest to me. I don't know if that's a different one or not.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty close, but... Okay, so I'm just saying you're attacking this one now. All right,
Yeah,
so...
I was attacking the one right in front of me.
Okay.
All right, so...
and then I get a second attack.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh my god.
13.
Yep,
I'm really testing the armor class levels
it
here.
still hits.
Really? Okay. Yay for Naked Snake Man. We're doing 10 points of Magic Bob damage. Big Bob Genie.
Okay.
And then, let's see. Ulfgar is going to then take his horn and do a little doot doot magic flute. And
Doot magic flute.
give inspiration to Kellisto.
Okay. All right. Okay, Tobias, anything you want to do? Or Arokh? Before they...
Tobias is going to initiate this green flame blade and attack the first closest to him.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to say that you're attacking this guy. Spread out the attacks so you don't just finish them. Alright.
And will be green flame blade will be on level... Hang on.
Green flame.
Oh yeah, green flame jumps. You do your normal damage, but then it gets extra damage on a nearby one, doesn't it?
Yeah, the spell damage increases when you reach higher levels. On 5th level, melee attacks deals on like 1d6 of fire damage to the target. Yep. Oof, indeed. So in order to initiate the family, I had to make an attack roll. So Chatter will be very pleased.
Oh, I did have a bonus action spell. I totally.
That does not hit though. The 8, yeah, is not to hit.
No, Chatter does not like being green flamed.
He says, "Get this magic out of my face."
Okay.
Okay. So then let's start at the top of the round. Okay, so Ulfgar. And we'll go through turn order now. I think you guys have done quite enough damage.
Ulfgar is going to use his bonus action to cast a spell.
Okay.
He's going to cast Shield, which gives him +2 armor class, which brings his armor class back up to normal.
Okay.
And then he's going to chop with Bob.
Okay.
Bob chop on the same guy.
Swing away.
I feel like I need a glass of water for that. So let's swing. Swing and a miss. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And he's going to take a second swing with Bob, which is a little more difficult to handle for him.
Oh, yeah. That one hits.
But he gets that chop in on this guy. So let's try this. 5 Magic Bob damage.
Okay. 5 Magic Bob damage. Alright. Now the UNT are going to retort. So let's start with the one who is, currently facing Lyssa. So They get 2 attacks.
Wait, what? No.
There's the first one.
Oh, crap.
Yeah.
And there's the second one.
They're not supposed to attack back.
Yep, they both hit.
Okie doke. Then the one in front of you, Ulfgar, is also going to do the same. So they're slashing at you with these scimitars. Ooh, does the 17 hit or not?
No, his armor class is 20 right now.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we got you with the first one. And then the one,
So that's 7 damage.
the one who is facing you, Tobias, actually I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Tobias. He starts muttering some arcane words under his breath.
No.
Or her breath.
No.
Wisdom saving.
I think it will be fine.
Yep. So for a moment you kind of just a glimpse at your sword. For a second you think that it's actually on fire, like it's going to burn you, but then you kind of, no, that's my spell. It's fine.
It's fine.
But then he is going to swing at you once with his scimitar.
The 17 hits me. Yes, it hits.
Okay. All right. So Arokh.
They're in a line.
Yeah, they are in the line. No, they are not. So Arokh is going to jump down on the closest one to him, and he's going to use a tail slap.
Okay. Let's say it's the one in front of Valia. I don't know. Actually, let's make it super random. Actually, I'm just going to roll 1d3, and we're going to go left to right. Oh, except I can't.
Oh.
I have to do 1d3.
So for those watching the stream, please ignore the people on the screen at the moment. I need to do a slight rearranging.
Oh.
Sorry, Vallen.
Oh no, you're
Okay,
fine.
it is that one. Alright, yes, that tail slap hits.
So let's see.
I love how we're like discombobulated.
Oh, I closed the wrong one. My bad.
Whoa.
Sorry, I gotta close people out. And then start. There we go. There's one. That's the wrong spot.
Oh.
Getting close.
Valia's.
There we go. Alright, so I just need to move. There we go. Ta-da! We're fine. We're good. It's all good.
Okay, yay! Nice.
Welcome, Rorax.
And welcome, Rorax.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry I'm an hour late.
Fine.
We were late starting, so. But you're in the middle
Nice
of battle with
haircut,
Yuan-Ti, if that's any consolation. So sorry. The tail slap hit. Okay, and did 6 damage. Right. Okay.
Rorax, we walked into the circular city area and we got jumped by a bunch of snake shape-shifting Yuan-Ti Malisons.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's pretty much what
Did
your
you
character
say
said.
hi?
I said look out.
Hi, look out. Same thing.
Something like that.
So Kellisto is going to use her bonus action to initiate Flame Blade. Flame Blade. And then she's going to rush up to one and she's going to hit it.
Cooked snake.
She does 14 damage to, let's say, this guy here. Wow. Okay. And And Aelia, how do you feel about taking a turn?
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you. Where am I in relation to things?
You're kind of what, about 20 feet back from this group. So actually, let's move Kellisto kind of.
And I feel I should mention, Rorax, your volume level is a little bit low.
Oh, except I can't. Hang on.
Thank you.
Move Kellisto up here. Tobias, whereabouts it? Oh, you had moved up as well, right? You were kind of face to face with this dude.
Sorry.
I think. So, Norvex is hiding in the shrubbery. So, sorry, I'm just moving you, Tobias. Sorry. Please forgive. So this is kind of like what we have at the moment.
Is this better?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think what I will do is I'm about 20 feet back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will... Which of the three is the most dead looking at immediate glance?
Probably actually the one in front of Ulfgar.
Okay. She will do a charge attack on that one then. I myself am a little muddled.
No worries. We just dropped you into battle. Like,
Yup, pretty
go!
much. We all just woke up ourselves, so.
Okay.
Oh, nice. At least
Wow.
20 feet.
Roll the way. Oh, nice.
And so
okay.
she's going to stab the heck out of it with her two-handing spear.
Okay. That hits.
Kebabbed.
Okay.
And 1d10 plus 1, yeah. Plus 1, 4, so...
Okay.
30.
Okay. That one looks seriously injured now. Snarls at you, with his very snake-like face.
Jerk. And then she's going to move behind Ulfgar.
Okay. What?
Nothing.
Oh. Okay. Alright. Anything else you wanted to do, Aelia?
Actually, I think moving behind Ulfgar would have
Provoked an attack of opportunity.
provoked an attack of opportunity. So I guess she won't. And I will end my turn.
Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, Tobias.
Tobias is going to chop his way.
Okay.
Without flame blade this time.
Okay.
And he's going into the one that he attacked.
Nope.
Cheddar's still pissed at you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I figured.
Yeah, having a sword with a personality, you get to blame the sword now.
It's all your fault.
Don't
This
blame
is-
the fighter, blame the weapon.
This is your punishment for holding that dagger. Throw it away and we will be more powerful. Okay. Anything else you would like to do? Do you want to move or?
Let's say how dagger will do.
The dagger.
Nope.
It's just a hiss. Throw it away. Okay. Alright, Valia.
Okay, I'm gonna rage for my bonus action.
Okay.
And then finish attacking that first one.
Oh boy.
Okay. That hits. Oof.
Nice.
Takes a massive blow from the warhammer to the side of his face.
I'm just like,
Teeth
you're
fly.
dead yet? You're not dead yet? Okay.
He spits some teeth out, but not dead. Okay, he's looking heavily injured now. Kind of hit him in the shoulder and one of his arms goes kind of limp and yeah, luckily it's not his scimitar arm, but
Sorry. Okay, that's all I got. I used my bonus to rage.
okay.
Hey, everybody's got bonus next to me.
Ulfgar, go! You're not next to Valia, but go!
No, you're not next to me, but go.
I stabbeth at thee with my battle axe.
It's bleeding quite heavily from a major spear wound that it took.
I try to quell the bleeding by make it finish bleeding.
I can fix this. That hits.
Effective.
Okay. And he goes to try and chop him.
Okay.
9.
That, yep. Got
Still
it.
keep going?
Yep. He's now bleeding from a. Wait, what is Bob? Bob's a two-handed sword, right?
No, Bob is a battle axe.
Battle axe. Thank you. Yep. Sorry. Oh my gosh.
Then I'm
battle axe
swinging.
of
I'm
buoyancy.
swinging two-handed right now.
That's right. Battle axe.
All right, here goes attack number 2.
Okay.
The backhand.
Are you doing like a spin move where you just spin
he's
it
like,
around?
Chop, chop, chop.
Okay.
All right.
What's the damage on that?
Another 9.
Another 9. Okay. Yeah, this guy looks like he's got very little life left in him.
I can't do that, so that's all I'll do for now. Because I don't get any bonus action attacks since I'm swinging this with 2 hands.
Okay. All right. Then the Yuan-Ti. So this guy is going to you see him again, kind of there's some arcane verbiage coming your way, Ulfgar. So could you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
I will do my best. Wisdom save. 13.
Okay. You feel the sudden urge to Kellisto's sword is on fire and you should definitely put that out.
I can actually do that. No, actually, I could actually attempt to do that is more accurate. But, okay.
Okay. And then he's going to slash at Aelia with his scimitar.
Oh no, I definitely can't do that. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that hit.
Okay, then the one in front of Tobias is going to swipe at Tobias with 2 swipes from the scimitar. Oh, you know what? Actually, he's going to swipe at Tobias and then, failing that, gets frustrated and just his head just shoots forward rapidly, very snake-like, and just bites you, Tobias, or at least attempts to. And misses as well. Very embarrassingly. He's like,
we like missing each other.
Just can't break through the armor. He's trying to bite you.
Two idiots collide.
Alright, and then last one is going to swing at Valia. Seems to have a little more luck. Sorry, Valia. You're definitely the deemed as the threat over there. Okay.
Are you threatening?
Fair enough. I did take a big chunk out of him.
Arokh.
Arokh, seeing that Valia got hurt, he sees that as opportunity, and he's going to bite the one attacking her.
Oh yeah, that hits. Okay. He takes 8 damage. She's looking pretty badly wounded as well. Not quite as badly as the one in front of Ulfgar, but so. And does Arokh want to stay where he is, or does he have any bonus actions?
Will be able to. He will be able to push him away.
I think that would be like what, an unarmed kind of attack to try and shove him. I don't know if that would count as a bonus action. I feel like that's more of like a second attack kind of thing.
Maybe strength comparison.
You know what? Here's what I'll say. As he's biting him,
Arokh's strength versus his strength.
Yeah, I'll say as he's biting him, he can push him during that. Try and shove him backwards. So yeah, do a strength check for Arokh, and I will do one for this UNT.
Very convenient.
Yes. So you could shove him. I'd say you shove him 5 feet.
Yeah, that'll be enough.
Okay.
Towards the wall.
Okay. Alright, so he kind of gets shoved like this direction, I think.
So, which one is it that cast on me?
This one.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Okay. Kellisto is going to continue attacking this one. More flame blade. That hits from Kellisto and does 11 damage on him.
That's good stuff right there.
Okay, Aelia.
Does she get 2 attacks?
Hey, I offered for you to play Kellisto and
Never
you declined,
mind.
so
I apologize.
she gets what she's doing.
Aelia will take a disengage action and then move behind Ulfgar.
Okay.
And then she's going to set her spear, and that's the end of turn.
Okie doke. Right, Tobias.
Okay, so I'm going to continue the onslaught.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Hey!
yes.
Yep, that hits.
Oh,
Wow,
nice.
12.
Good damage.
Ouch.
Whoosh.
You hear the very familiar at this point, the kind of cry out of victory from Chatter as you slice into this Yantree.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Alright, anything else you would like to do?
Dagger stab.
Then no. That just hits.
Oh, wow.
Their AC sucks. I should have given them a higher AC just to make it more difficult for you guys.
Hey, they're mostly naked. They just have gauntlets and loincloths.
They are like overconfident in their, rippling biceps. Okay. Valia.
Valia,
Okay,
do you
I
use a
guess I will-
shield?
No.
Okay.
Yes, actually, I have I think I have a buckler. Let me double check.
Oh, I was just curious. Sorry.
Yeah, I have a bone shield.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna try to finish that guy off next to me.
Okay. That hits. He is still clinging to life. Not for long.
Yeah, I'm mad now. I wasted my turns.
Yep, that finishes him.
Nice.
I'm gonna head over to this one and bite.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a lizardy biting match.
Yeah, it
going
is
right
like who can bite best.
Like,
Until
here.
Valis Valor.
My money's on Valia.
Yep.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Alright, Ulfgar.
Is there any water nearby?
No particular bodies of water, no.
Like puddles, anything like that?
Not especially, no. There's like the morning dew on the plants, but doesn't seem like it was raining last night.
Ulfgar would probably take his own water skin then, pour the water out, and use shape water to try and douse her sword. Callisto's sword.
Okay.
And while he's doing it, he'd say, "Look out! Your sword! It's catching your arm on fire there!" Oh God!
Callisto's like, what are you talking about? Okay. Alright, so you spend the turn trying to douse Callisto's flame blade. Okay.
Pretty much. I think it'd take him a bit to get the water skin open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Right. That will give the UNT time to kind of, it's going to move away from you, which I'm trying to decide if that would provoke an attack of opportunity if you are currently messing around with water.
I could it's a reaction, right? And I don't have any reaction spells except for Featherfall, so I couldn't reaction spell. I probably would have dropped Bob. So to do that. So I don't think that I have any weapons.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to take this opportunity and he kind of circles around by his friend here, away from you. And he's going to actually then he uses his action to polymorph back into a snake.
Okay.
So this, you see him kind of move away, and as he's moving away, kind of polymorphs back into a snake, and just seems to be kind of moving further away.
Okay.
Okay, this one, however, has way too much attention to try any of those shenanigans, so is just going to keep wailing away with his scimitar. Oh, you know what? He is going to try another bite. Actually, he's going to try biting you again, Tobias.
Oh no! Oh. 18. No, 15 poison. 15 damage. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then slashes at you with his scimitar.
19 damage. Oh my.
Okay. The other one's dead, and that one is snaky. So over to Arokh. I need a little thing on here to remind me he's a snake.
I put the closest thing I could find to confusion on Ulfgar.
Despair. Okay, Arokh rushes forward and he's going to attack the one that is going to turn into the snake.
So he's attacking this one?
Yes.
Okay, let me look up snake AC. See if it's any different. No, it's the same. Okay. Alright, yeah.
And he's going for a bite.
Okay.
Trumpet.
That hits.
Snake bite. Which one's he biting?
And claw as a bonus action.
Okay. Why is this guy's... Okay.
Oh.
That one does not hit. He's kind of difficult to claw because he's a fair bit smaller now.
So does he need to make a concentration, or is that just the spell lasts?
The UNT?
Yeah.
It's not really a spell.
Oh, okay.
It's one of his racial abilities.
Okay.
Okay. Kellisto is going to try and finish this guy with another strike from her flame blade. Boop.
Which she has inspiration.
Ah, okay. She can use it for the damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she will do that.
1d8.
Yep. Can it go? Thank you. Okay. So she hits and does a whopping 17 points of damage.
Dang!
And the guy is on
with a wet fire sword.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Is that magic fire or evoke a fiery blade? Well, you know what? So you wait, hang on. You used shape water, right, to take the water from your water skin, and you were trying to like
quench the blade with it. Yes.
I think you would need to make an attack roll to see, because she's gonna try and dodge that. She's like, "What are you doing?" And she's trying to like hold her sword out of the way, her flame blade out of the way. So could you make an attack to see if you actually were able to?
Using what? Just a 1d20 plus...
Plus, maybe your spell attack. Do you have like a range?
I do, but I'm not allowed to actually use this like offensively, I guess.
What, use the shape water, you mean?
Yeah, basically it says it doesn't have enough force to cause damage. Never mind. Yeah,
I think you're just trying to, and she's trying to avoid you doing this, and you're trying to do this, so okay. So use your spell attack bonus and see if you can.
So I could just roll one of my other spells then, and that should be the same.
Okay.
I will roll. Where is it? Thunderwave. That should be the same. To hit. 15.
Let me see.
Hit her sword.
Okay, so you do manage to quench the sword then. So then I think she's just... Actually, let me re-roll that, because she's just swinging with her scimitar. Then, which is not quite... Oh, she still hits.
Did she... Okay. I understood the spell as being the sword was... The flame blade was the actual object, and she would have to re-equip whatever weapon to that hand.
Yeah, I think she could do that probably with her bonus action.
Okay.
Because, yeah, I totally agree with you, right? The flame blade is like a magical... You know what, though? If it's magical, does water really make it go out?
That's up to you to determine.
God damn it. You know what? No, I'm going to stick with my original thing. So, Ulfgar, you see the water hits the blade successfully.
Maybe it vaporizes.
but doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay.
Are you like throwing the water at the blade, or are you just kind of like moving it into the same space? Or?
I was trying to like take the water and just go so that I could like grab in an area of where the blade might be, because she's swinging it around. So I'm just trying to splash the water on the blade to put it out.
Is there
Mostly
a
on her
duration to
hand,
that spell?
What, shape water?
Yeah.
Yes. I believe it's instantaneous. Hold on a second.
But like, how long does the water stay where you shape it?
You instantly move or otherwise change the flow of the water as you direct up to 5 feet in any direction. Movement doesn't have enough force to cause damage. You can use it to form into simple shapes and animate at your direction. This change lasts for 1 hour. So I can keep moving around water for 1 hour.
So you can keep moving it. Okay, so you're kind of holding it at the moment, like this levitated blob of water.
Choke him.
Okay, so the UNT still takes the damage.
Okay.
But yeah, your water doesn't seem to be doing anything to put Kellisto out.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about all that.
Not a problem.
Okay, Aelia. Finally.
That's okay. Aelia's going to charge at the one running away. Because she has set her spear, and she's going to stab it, as you might imagine.
Okay.
Wherever I put my character sheet.
What are you doing? Oh, sleepy pug.
Oh my gosh.
I think
It's
a little snake like slithering around in the grass, so it kind of makes sense actually. It's tricky to hit.
Well, there goes the set spear bonus, but and I will try to spare it. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Thank you, dice gods.
Okay.
No snake for you.
I got 1, 2.
Right. Tobias.
Chop, chop, chop.
Okay. Chop chop.
He slices, he dices.
And oh yes.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that finishes him. And Chatter is elated. Couldn't be happier. Okay. Valia, the Yuan-Ti in front of you just got kind of a major slash across his torso, and he just crumpled to the ground.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna try to snake through.
Serpentine.
And attack this one.
So he is a snake on the ground. Just so okay. All right. Yeah, go for
She's
it.
got a big hammer.
Yeah.
And they didn't hit me last round, right? Alright. I don't remember. Yeah, no, they didn't hit me last round, did they?
I don't think they did. Did they? Hang on, I gotta scroll back through it. I don't remember, to be honest. There's like 3 rolls in a row there, and I can't remember which one's yours.
I think the guy that was next to me slashed and then tried to bite Nerevar, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so that means my rage wore off. I'll just straight up attack her then. Meh.
Yep.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yep, there is one very squashed snake. Ooh, I can't get to the thing. There we go. Yep.
Who needs rage with snakes?
Snake jam.
I think
Just a
Splatter.
sneaky situation.
That's the name of your new Warhammer, Splatter.
Snicky situation.
Mr. Monkey's over here shaking his head at me.
I can't kind of don't blame him. Snicky situation.
So
he thinks he's the only dad joke person around here.
So I realize that she's probably going to be putting her own flame sword out shortly, but do I just do this for the rest of my days?
No, I think when that guy dies, actually, I'm going to say you kind of like
Okay.
the urge to put the fire out passes. Kind of shake it off like, what was I thinking?
He actually wouldn't drop the water. He would shape it back into his canteen.
So fancy.
Pick up Bob and say, sorry, I don't know what came over me there. I feel there was some mental influence there coming from an outside source. That wasn't good.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we seem... you don't see any more snake people
Ulfgar pulls his
snaking
shield
around.
out. We may have drawn attention. Quick. Let's search the bodies and pull them off the main path.
Aelia will help with that.
Okay. So...
Ulfgar's like dragging the snake, going...
The squashed snake.
he's not very strong.
I'm just gonna sit on the ground for a minute. I'm actually hurt pretty bad.
Oh yeah?
Oh, in that case, I would actually pivot and go to help you with...
Yeah, the snake hit me a couple times pretty hard.
Ulfgar would try to press the digitation, the splat marks a bit, so it didn't look like there was messy stuff.
Okay. Clean up the snake guts.
Maybe he could use shape water to pick up any blood.
Yeah, with prestidigitation, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you could just clean it up.
That's not how that works.
So on the Yuan-Ti, you find basically their weapons. They don't seem to have anything else except there were 2 scimitars, and they were also carrying longbows. But yeah, aside from that, do they have any armor on? Not really.
I don't think so with that armor class.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, Tobias will be casting Healing Word on himself.
Okay.
Hang on, which is more powerful, Healing Cure Wounds or Healing Word?
I think isn't Cure Wounds more powerful?
It is.
Okay.
It's 1d8 versus 1d4? What?
Yeah, Cure Wounds is better, but you can only touch your target. Is the
Okay, so it will be Cure Wounds on himself. It will be on level 2. Yeah. Okay, that'll be enough.
Okay.
By the way, Valia, your warhammer works like Ulfgar's battle axe. You can swing it two-handed.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I'll lose my bonus without my shield, so I don't use it two-handed. Because I don't wear armor, so...
Hang on, do I will be able to use short swords as to hand the weapon?
A short sword? No.
You're no fun.
Hand and a half or bigger.
Mm-hmm. Has to have the
I would
versatile.
I would like to be able to swing Chatter twice.
Chatter would like to be able to take part in that as well. Get better. Get good.
Get good.
Get good.
Hmm. Okay, so we're done with Yuanti, so we should keep going.
Yes, all the Yuanti in the villa the city are dead. We have killed them.
Murdered every single one of them.
Yep,
There was a total of 3.
that's all that was left that killed the red wizards. So now Ulfgar's
Okay.
like going to be looking in the grass for snakes as well.
Yeah, let me clean this up, actually. Okay, so where are you headed? I'm gonna move
Left
you
or
guys
right?
that way.
Ulfgar originally was planning on going counterclockwise.
I
Okay.
will go with that plan.
Alright. So just kind of your general plan in this area is to are you searching buildings? Are you just
Looking for
walking around?
temples.
Are you okay?
Yeah, Aelia will specifically be looking for like animal statues.
Okay. So yeah, as you're walking through the streets, the thing that you notice the most actually is that the buildings in this area seem to be much more elaborate and much kind of finer quality than the buildings that you've seen kind of outside of this walled area. But nevertheless, they are in ruins. It's almost like, some of them had swimming pools at one time, or, like these residences are of a kind of higher class than what you were seeing outside of the walled area. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of walk through this quarter here and get to here, and you still you don't see any buildings that have like this classic kind of design that you've been seeing, the shrines with the 2 obelisks at the front and the wall like plaza. You haven't seen anything like that, and no animal statues on any of the buildings.
Aelia's gonna look to the like center of the thing because that kind of just sticks out. Does she notice anything in particular about that? Does that look like it was maybe a palace or a temple or something of significance like that?
It does look kind of like a palace. Yeah, what's left of it. There are bats that are kind of swirling up above it. But that's really the only thing. And it's got a nice big wall around it. But doesn't seem to be kind of anything beyond that. And actually now you kind of look at it, you think that these buildings around this inner circle of buildings that you've been kind of skirting around all look like they're kind of palatial buildings, like add-ons to it. And this is just kind of like the center point of that. So it seems like it's all kind of part of a palace.
Oh, okay. That's a big palace.
As we're walking, Ulfgar would say, "So, do you think that we might have caught those Yuanti as a scouting group, or perhaps guards, or just a bunch of chums walking around their normal village? I have a concern that, we're going to run into more. Maybe even an entire town of them, in which case it might be too late."
Well, if we were anywhere the Yuanti would settle in the city, that would be there. And she points to the main feature of the palace. And we're awfully close.
Do you think that they're in cooperation with the gargoyles we saw earlier?
They seem to freely roam, both of them, without... Well, we haven't seen them engage with each other, at least.
Right. Well, I'm not finding any palaces or any temples on this side. Perhaps we backtrack and go up the other side. Looks like this just ends in a bunch of water, and Ulfgar kind of gives a bit of a shiver.
GM, is there a break in the wall here? I can't tell.
I will say, actually, no, there is not.
Okay. Then Aelia will suggest we go in the other direction around the temple city.
Meaning, like, actually, I guess what I would be recommending is that perhaps we go down this way and find out how far around we can go, because obviously he doesn't have a view of, like, the top of this place, but just go this way and then follow around this way, thinking that would be another block that they'd be able to investigate on the way back the other direction.
Okay.
Okay. So you're heading into this inner circle and then kind of back around the front here. Is that right?
Yes. Like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you see what's left of these buildings is very fine indeed. You know, it does look like they were built for royalty. But you don't see any kind of more signs of a shrine.
Okay. Then basically continue this way and following around.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, spend kind of the rest of the morning walking the streets of this compound. And yeah, in this area you do see there's some smaller buildings. They look, you know, they're look more like utility kind of buildings than residences or anything like that. But yeah, you don't see anything that looks like a shrine or.
About this place.
Are you gonna check it out? Is that?
Well, I mean, are we close enough we'd be able to see if it's got like walls or animal statues or anything like that when we get to this point? I mean,
and you see that it does have walls, kind of either side of the building that go down, that do look a little similar to the shrines that you've seen before.
I guess instead of taking that turn to go up here, I probably would have said, let's check this place out here. It seems to have some lower walls, and a lot of the temples have those.
Okay. Alright, so as you're checking it out, well, anybody who's checking it out, please make a perception check.
Okie dokie.
And let me look here. Ulfgar perception check. Go. There you go.
Okay. So the building, I mean, to everybody actually, the building looks very normal. But Ulfgar, what you see, something catches your eye. Isn't actually related to this building at all. It does just look like another, you know, kind of residence. Maybe somebody who had somebody was titled or something like that. It's a very nice looking residence, but it definitely isn't a shrine. But what Ulfgar sees that catches his eye is, again, over here. There's this weird clump of trees and bushes.
Is there any way that I would define it as weird?
The trees are very tightly kind of knit. You know, everything else looks quite haphazard, and these look like they are. The trees have been kind of purposefully bent, perhaps. They don't look normal.
So I guess for roleplay's sake, Ulfgar is not particularly known for his cartography skills, but if he thinks that might have been the direction that the Yuan-Ti were coming from, he might have interest in it. But you know, that when they ambushed us. But I don't know that he would actually know exactly where he's at per se. I mean, he's sticking to main roads for a reason, because they're easier to figure out. Should I make some kind of roll for him to figure out where he's at this point, or do you think it would be obvious where?
I think like when you're standing here and you look down kind of in this direction, you know, I think it's fairly obvious where you are. Okay. You can definitely see stuff that you've already passed by.
Well, then Ulfgar would say, I think I might have found a Yuan-Ti nest, or perhaps a camp. And he points over in the direction of the trees and says, I think that might have been where they came at us from. And he'd mention this to the rest of the group, and he'd kind of like call everyone to try and hush about it, just in case they're about. Should we investigate?
Yeah, because isn't that what happened to us last time? A group of trees came to life and there were snakes.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
So, do you planning to fight them?
I'm just curious to see if we can get an idea of if there are more, if there's just a few. If there are, perhaps we can get the drop on them.
Yeah, there might be probably more than we can handle.
Or there just might be a couple.
It would be nice if we could arrange some sort of sabotage.
I agree. Shall I have a look-see?
Kellisto volunteers.
Ah, he says, aye, she'll have the best luck.
She says, I'll even make my shape change appropriate for the situation. and offers to wild shape into a snake.
Very well then.
I'll take care of a dog. I'll be right back.
She you see she kind of, when she wild shapes into a very specific kind of an obvious pattern. She says, I'll make it obvious so you can tell which snake is me. She looks at Valia and says, please don't squash me. And then she wild shapes into a snake, and you see her slither off kind of into the the shrubbery, the foliage. So a few minutes pass by. Is there anything anybody wants to do while you're waiting for Kellisto to return?
Not I.
Okay. Anybody else want to do anything?
No, just kind of wait.
Okay. Right. So Kellisto, you see this very distinctive looking snake slither back out of the foliage, and sure enough, shapeshifts back into Kellisto and says, there's a passage that descends. She says, below the surface. She says it's hidden behind these palm trees.
Well, that's interesting. I think that's maybe where the Yuan-Ti are hanging.
I don't know. Snake people, dark.
Who knows with snake people?
So Vallen, Kellisto returned and said that there's a passage down that goes to a subterranean area. She didn't go down it, but she said she found kind of hidden behind the palm trees there's a passage that goes beneath the earth.
Did it look like it was a stone opening or dirt?
I don't know. Wait, what was that, Tobias?
Something more about the camp itself. Any sort of tents?
She says no. No, it's just these palm trees are just hiding this entrance.
No Yuanti? No
Says-
guards?
I didn't see anybody else, including other snakes.
So are we going to dwell in?
I don't know. Last
Well,
time we
there
went
was
into
no
it. Go on.
There was no statues there, was there? I don't see this as being a relevant location for it. Even if this is the nest of vipers, it's not really our concern right now, surely.
Yeah, I don't think we should go in there. I think we should probably continue looking around here, and if there a need arises to go in there, then we should. But other than that, I think we should just kind of tread lightly and just finish looking around.
But if it is Yuanti's lair, we should do whatever we can that they won't crawl out of there.
Was it a stone entrance or a dirt entrance?
She says it's been reinforced with stone.
Is there a bunch of dirt nearby? And he looks over at Tobias and says, perhaps somebody might be able to make it look like there is a bit of a collapse of some dirt nearby, sealing it temporarily at least.
I say we should have a bunch of dry grass in there and then light it on fire, and then Tobias can just cover it up with.
I hate smoke them out.
I hate to be a pain, but are you sure collapsing something that we might need later? Because again, we don't know that it's a nest of vipers.
Well, that's the thing. He can just keep moving the dirt, right? So it'll hopefully just slow them down. And with us, it's just a minor inconvenience.
I suppose.
I still think you should light stuff on fire and throw it down.
Right. Hold still and I'll light you on fire.
You're coming with me.
Going out in blazing glory.
That would be fun.
Ulfgar says, well, if that was a guard group coming out that we attacked, or were attacked and attacked, more may come out. That could lead to their lair. It could get quite tight quarters down there if they're traveling as little slitheries.
And if those were the guards and they don't come back, they're gonna come out. So I think just block to make it slower for them to actually get out, and hopefully we'll be gone by then, if that is the hold to where they live.
Didn't think about that. They might be able to track us around. Maybe if we zigzag all across the city, they'll lose interest.
I'm like, hey, Orvex, are you auntie known to make underground lairs like, regular snakes?
He says, I believe this is the entrance to their temple, he says.
Okay, then. I think we should just bypass it, and if we need to come back to it, well, they're not going anywhere.
Right.
Hang on. We are discussing this from the distance. We are not at the gate right now, right?
We're kind of over
Callisto was
here.
the only one. Yeah, Callisto was the only one that went up close enough to it.
How big is this entrance?
Hang on one second.
That
I can
big.
tell you.
It's like a little foxhole.
I need to find the right page. Sorry.
We could just send Arokh down there and he can just fireball everything.
What's your sudden obsession with fire, Valia?
I got caught on fire. I'm sorry.
Hang on, I gotta zoom out. One moment.
Still a little indigestion from that red mage.
Right. The spicy mage. Kellisto says it was just maybe a little wider than 5 feet, maybe 10 feet wide, she says. Definitely no bigger than 10 feet.
Would our Yuanti knowledge let us
I think probably Arokh could haul boulder big enough to block the entrance, at least partially.
You want him to block the entrance?
At least for now. We are not going in.
I don't intend to.
At least not now.
Not a big fan of an asp's nest. Do you want to let him like keep an eye on it in case others come out? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about having him just like sit on the hole?
That's what I'm playing is Arokh can go and block the entrance with some boulders.
I know the dragon is a dragon, but surely he can't haul a 10-foot boulder.
There could be a couple small boulders. GM.
Sorry, I didn't realize it was a question for me. There is loads of rubble around, right? So you could definitely like you can try and move some rubble.
Careful, I hear rubble's full of snakes.
Here's what I worry about. If you treat this as a earth-moving labor job, they're surely going to notice something's going on at their entrance. If this is indeed their... Whatever we do to this entrance, it should be done in moments, not...
So where are we going to cave in the entrance then?
I was just thinking you could take a bunch of dirt and pile it in there. Just plug it up so they've at least got to use some physical labor to dig their way back out. Well, of course, then again, they do have magic users, so I don't know. It might just be a minor task for them as well.
Kellisto says, "Oh my god. Let's just go down there." I feel like Kellisto would want me to go.
Tell you what, why don't you just have Arokh keep an eye on it, and if anything comes out, you know automatically, right? And he could quickly fly away.
Yeah, that doesn't work at long distances.
Oh.
Okay, so we have those options. Either we are going in and scout the place out, or we just leave it as it is. And our third option is to block the entrance.
Kellisto says, "Let's go check it out." And she's like, takes a couple of steps towards it.
There, young druid.
Ulfgar says, "I'm no longer a fan of blocking the entrance."
Ulfgar does a 180.
Then we move on.
I think we come back to it. this entire circle area might be a dead end for us in general.
True.
So,
Okay, so we live in this.
for now,
Yes.
we know it's there. I think we could be a bit more cautious about it.
Shall we go then? And Aelia turns back the way.
Hi, let's go this way.
we should.
Let me go back to that page. So where are you headed? Zoom back in again.
Backtracking a little bit and heading this way.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so there's as we kind of described a bit earlier, there's smaller utility kind of looking buildings over here. You know, some storage and yeah, it's kind of difficult to tell what these buildings were used for at this point because they're quite ruined. But yeah, nothing that looks shrine-like for sure.
What about this building?
That does not look like a shrine. It looks like some kind of big amphitheater almost, if you take a look inside.
Ugh.
Ugh.
And what about this?
So those are stairs down, but they are flooded.
Well, the underground passage is closed.
Sure you don't want to clear the water in the stairs?
Nope. It's closed. You can see it just fine from a distance.
It's a little murky. I don't know.
No, it's good.
Okay.
Well, it looks like this, whatever this place is a bust. Yeah, we wasted our time.
Well, unless we go into that central area there, but I don't know how to get in.
Well, I think that central area is not a shrine.
Maybe it's the King of Shrines. And he just kind of gets
You
this...
think this whole place is a shrine?
He just gets this look
She
on his
waves
face.
an arm over these buildings.
Like... He's just like, oh my goodness.
Ulfgar's seeing dwarvish numbers in front of him.
Mm-hmm. It's like, imagine the size of the puzzle box in the middle of this one, eh? Would we see that there, what looks like there's some kind of opening over here?
Yeah, you could see there's a gap in the wall over there.
Well, there's a gap in the wall over there. We could go round that side, but
all in all, it's just another.
I don't know if that's going to lead us any closer to anything. I can also see water further on down.
We might see what we're dealing with, though, if we go out there. And Aelia starts trotting towards the gap in the wall.
Ulfgar kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, sure.
Okay. All right. So make your way through the gap in the wall, and you can see in front of you a very flooded area. Yeah, as you see on the map, right? There's a small chunk of kind of grassy foliage that quickly turns into a marshy area, and then there's this entire blob that's just kind of flooded. There are remnants of buildings, and you can see kind of bits like poking up out of the water, but yeah, it's all big chunks of flooded buildings and a couple of ruined buildings beside you.
Can I, would you reckon there's like a... Where's my ruler? Do you think Aelia would kind of see this building here?
I think you can see it between, like, you get partial look at it between, you know, the other groups of buildings, for sure.
Because I get the impression that it's quite tall on this drawing.
It is, yeah. I think you could definitely see, like, the roof of it is up above these lower buildings in front.
Ulfgar sees her looking in that direction, sees her going, is that a temple? And he's like, nope, no temples out here. Guess we've got to go back.
Ulfgar, I think you found a temple.
Nope, I don't see any temples here.
Oh yes, I'm sure we should go and look in that direction at the very least to confirm what I'm thinking.
No.
Can I I'm just gonna slide into the water, and can I go over here to this?
Yeah.
Or crumble?
Yeah, because you can like swim like nobody's business, right? So
Yeah.
So yeah, you see Valia just kind of like it's like a entirely natural habitat for Valia, and just she makes it look super easy. Just slides into the water and starts swimming towards this chunk of buildings.
You can see that Ulfgar has put his shield away at this point. He's still got Bob out, but he's got like this death grip on Bob, like white knuckles at this point.
Kellisto says, "Don't worry, I've got a spell for that."
Right, and I was about to ask, Kellisto, do you think you can get us across the way? And she points.
She says, "I believe I have a spell that can make a bunch of people walk on water."
It's not so much about walking on top of it I'm worried about. It's the things that are underneath.
She says, "Yeah, I can make everybody walk on water if we want, including
Well, if
you
it makes you
or
feel
Vex."
any better, Ulfgar, you can sit up here, and she raps on us.
Gav says, "Excuse me." This is occupied.
I know you don't like him, Gal, but you can share the saddle for a moment, can't you?
His Royal Majesty Gao, the first of his name, slipping into Game of Thrones, allows this peasant dwarf to share the saddle.
Blacksmith. I'll accept blacksmith. I'm your smitty.
Thank you, Lord Gal.
From here, where I'm kind of just swimming around this little building, so I guess I can look around. I guess I can look off in the distance and see if anything looks interesting.
Yeah, yep. So you're climbing up on these ones, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or either that one or the one next to it, whichever one I go.
Yeah, you can go for either. Yeah.
I'll just climb on this one here. It's close.
Okay. Yeah, from there, you can see that this building, certainly has a wall around it, similar to other buildings you've seen, and you can catch a glimpse as well of the obelisk at the front. So yeah, you have a good feeling about that building being a shrine.
Okay, I will swim back, and I'll just hang out right here in the water, and I'll tell him it looks like a shrine that's flooded over there.
How deep is the water?
The water, it varies, but it varies from like when you first get in, kind of over here, it's like about 3 feet deep. But when you were kind of out here, it was more like 5 feet deep.
Okay, so I don't feel like dipping my toes into the water, so I'm going to use the mold earth to make a safe passage for everyone.
I'm just like, why? The water feels fine. It's like swimming around in.
Do you remember the water where you got bite by those fishes?
And the water that had the giant frog in it.
Aren't.
And the water that had the alligators in it.
Frog's not.
I feel like we're having trouble making up our minds here. Who's helping with the water? Is it going to be you, Kellisto, and we walk across, or is it going to be you and you part the waters?
I vote for speed.
My suggestion, whoever walks across water should come this way and cut across. And that way you don't have to worry about there's less trouble if we have to go all the way around.
Kellisto, will your spell last that
She says, let me consult my... she says it lasts an hour, so... Totes.
All right then. Let's go, Valia. And she helps everyone to be motivated. Yay.
Go team!
Okay, so Kellisto says, right.
I'll swim ahead, to make sure nothing's coming up, so I can kind of go around.
Kellisto
So
says,
we are sure that Kellisto's spell will cover us all, right?
yeah. Yep, and she kind of gathers, she says, if you want to participate, come, gather around, and...
Ulfgar is standing up front, center.
She's like, get out of my face, Ulfgar. And then she casts, and, incantations and somatics. She says, there you go, all done.
I'm guessing that Valia did not partake in that because she's swimming.
And Arokh is out of question because he can fly. So
Yeah, I'm swimming ahead.
Aelia tests
yeah, I could go out over the Arokh. Yeah. Okay. So I'll be with the rest of the party. So
Okay.
Aelia tests a hoof on the water, and then she finds it solid, I guess.
Yep, absolutely. It does the thing that I think you guys have done this before, right? With
We have.
with Kellisto. Yep.
We're like water striders. We don't quite break the water tension.
So Ulfgar, if you want to run,
He'd take up
well, it's about 100 feet.
the invitation to ride.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Okay.
be transported across, more or less.
Okay. So you're heading. Where are you heading exactly? You going
Like this?
Oh, okay.
Yes?
Yeah, it's totally
Yeah.
up to you.
Yeah, like right in that area, right as far as they can go till before the spell runs out.
So what is this? I mean, this is 260. So yeah, I mean, especially if Aelia is running, then yeah, absolutely, you could get there quite quickly. And
Yes.
Kellisto says, "We still got time left if you want to go further."
I would like to check on that building. And the entire time we've been traveling, she's been keeping an eye on the building as they've been moving, to get a better look at it.
I'll just keep
Does she
scouting
see
ahead.
anything as they
Okay. Yeah, as you get closer, Aelia, you can, as you building kind of comes into view, you can see the walls around it look very similar to the other shrines, and as soon as you get kind of, to where the pointer is here, or where the line is drawn, you can absolutely confirm this looks very, very much like a shrine. The two obelisks are in the front, and yep, everything is kind of as it should be.
See, Ulfgar, it is a shrine.
He's just gripping, like death gripping onto you with one hand and Bob with the other. And he's not responding. He's just like gritting his teeth really hard. Like looking around, paranoid that there's going to be a froghemoth coming up at any moment.
Is the water at this point kind of getting shallow, or I don't know, because the map's very strange.
Yeah, it sure is. It does get kind of shallow, and actually from this point here, you can see that you think you see a couple of crocodiles swimming in amongst the walls of this building.
Uh-oh.
Ulfgar was so uninterested in the water that he disconnected from the meta reality.
Ruh-roh.
No, I'm still connected.
Oh.
It's just acting really weird. Just
Okay.
says Discord's
Okay.
up. Okay. 1 second here. That was weird. It just suddenly said, bye? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
right. So unless we restart the entire stream, I'm going to be blanked out. So
Oh no.
there we go.
I don't think we have time for that.
Nope. I am a dwarf.
Okay. Go dwarf.
Done.
Alright.
So I scout ahead and I see like when I'm about like here-ish, I guess the two buildings. When I see you said alligators?
There's a couple of crocodiles.
Okay.
Ulfgar would probably end up shouting if he saw them.
Well, I think Valia's scouting ahead, right? So she's
Yeah,
kinda
I'm
seeing
ahead of
first.
you guys, yeah.
Okay,
So
good.
can I kind of go ahead a little bit and just like, use my speak with the animals that I have, and then swim around like, hey, what's going on? What is this? What is this place?
So the crocodiles will look at you and say, they look at you and say to each other, actually they don't respond to you, food. And one of them will reply back as well, yes, I am hungry, and so is mother.
I'm like, I can show you where food is if you want lots of food. Do you like snake people?
Make a persuasion check. Yes, lead us to food and mother will be pleased.
Okay, I will lead them.
Oh boy.
I will lead them around, and hopefully they don't see everybody. I'll say, follow me. And and then when we get over here, I'll ask them, do you know where the big round circle the city area is?
What is a circle, they say.
I figured as much. Okay, I'm going to take them, like, around this way. Basically, I'm going to take them all the way back to where we saw the open.
Okay. So yeah, they'll waddle around with you. So the rest of the group, you probably see Valia leading like the charge of these crocodiles, like going eastwards.
Aelia is wide-eyed.
I'm just hoping that nobody says anything just to distract them.
They seem to be, paying attention to you, Valia.
Yeah, so I show them where the entrance is, and I said there's a lot of them down there. It's all free food. It's my gift to you and mother.
Okay. While Valia is doing this, what are the rest of you doing?
Trotting up to the entrance, I suppose. I'd probably stand kind of like outside the gate and crane my neck forward and look left and right for anything there.
So you're standing like here-ish?
Yep.
Okay.
Just trying to peer past the wall.
Mm-hmm. So you see, when you crane your neck, you see a big creature moving rapidly towards you. It's a huge crocodile.
No.
It's a really giant crocodile.
Mother.
Like much bigger than expected. Much bigger than a regular crocodile, and she is kind of charging towards you.
Uh-oh.
And I think that's where we'll leave it.
Dun, 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 dun. Suspense.
Oh boy. It's great. So yeah.
Valia's like, yay!
Ulfgar's fears have been confirmed. Water equals
Well,
death.
it wasn't a behemoth, so
No, it's a crocohemoth instead.
crocohemoth.
Crocohemoth. Much worse than a frogahemoth.
I don't know, is it? I mean, are they worse? They don't have the sticky tongue.
Nope, they got sharp teeth.
They got more sharp teeth, though.
So we've got a giant-sized Valia coming at us. Great. So I hope everybody enjoyed. Sorry for the technical difficulties. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Sorry, I was late.
It's all right. Happy you were able to join us and finish off some Yuan-Ti.
Fun with Crocs next week. Oh, no, actually, no, we won't be playing next week because of Easter, so fun with Crocs the week after.
Oh, we've got to wait 2 weeks before we find out what happens with the Crocodigators. Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm sure Aelia will just summon some ancient spirits and it'll just,
It'll all be fine. It'll be
Mother
fine.
will likely swallow Ulfgar.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if y'all
We
don't
shall
like
see.
get in combat before I get back, we might be okay.
Swim away, I think is what Val is.
All right. Well, we'll see you all next time, folks.
Thanks.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.